Well, good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for attending. This is Kat over here who's going to be signing for us today. She does a great job. I worked with Kat on a number of occasions over the years here in Victoria. My name is Ed Bain. I'm with CHEK Television and 100.3 The Q. I'm excited about this show here today. Well, I'm really excited for. I know the show's going to be fantastic. I talked to one of the performers. I said, we're going to have a great show. And she said, we're not going to have a great show. We're going to have an awesome show. And she's right about that. So I'm excited about that. And I'm also excited that I can finally, in 2022, say, I went to church. So that's a special thrill for me. All right, we are going to begin by acknowledging and honoring the original people of these lands, the Lekwungen-speaking people who have been caretakers and protectors of these lands and the Salish seas from time immemorial, and we are grateful to them and every day for this land. And the producers have also asked that we take a breath and acknowledge and give thanks to the Creator at this moment for enabling us all to come together and to share our talents in the love and the hope of helping this to be a better place here on International Day of Disabled People. So we are one, and I am excited about that because that's the kind of world that I want to live in, and I think most of us want to live in, where we're all one and taking care of each other and respecting each other. And so that's a big underlying theme here of our show here today. All right, we are very honored to have our very first performer up here tonight, sharing a chant and a song, and it is Karen Lee White. So please put your hands together for Karen Lee White. Thank you.
This is a prayer song that's probably about 900 years old. And this was gifted to me by the Dakota-speaking people down in Dakota Teepee First Nation. that cell phone off. You can definitely applaud after the next one. So this is a song I wrote for my late mom, who had to drive me around after I broke an ankle. No, it wasn't the time I broke an ankle. I think it was after I had some kind of surgery or other. It wasn't much fun. And it's called When Someone Else is Driving. And this is my African thumb piano. It's what happens when you live in a place like Zimbabwe for a couple of years. Their music sneaks into yours. When someone else is driving and you close your eyes, if the sun is shining, you can see your own design. Pinwheel warriors in a fire orange sky. When someone else is driving and you close your eyes. When you close your eyes, you can see what you want. Don't ask for nothing, you won't get what you want. Only what comes to you and only what's there. Lapse into the mystic if you dare. When someone else is driving, you can close your eyes. Sun is shining, you can see your own designs. Pinwheel warriors in a fire orange sky. When someone else is driving and you close your eyes. When someone else is driving and you close your eyes. Well, someone else is driving, you better close your eyes. Now you may wildly applaud.
The fabulous Karen Lee White, everybody. What a great performance that was. Thank you, Karen Lee. Terrific. I'll tell you a little bit about the West Coast Reach Association that has produced this show. They are a local charity. They celebrate diversity, they celebrate inclusion, and they use music and performing arts for social good. And they're just a terrific organization for sure. They have actually 4 performing groups which are combining here for us today. One celebrates diverse cultures, one promotes diverse ability, and one brings together members of the street community with others through music, and one is a children's ensemble as well. So all of these groups are non-auditioned. Everybody is welcome. You can get into this without an audition, and it's each of their songs has a positive message, and isn't that the just such a great thing these days particularly. So the songs that you're going to hear are We Are the Wave, I Am the Earth, and of course the theme song Reach, which was originally recorded by Gloria Esteban. So I think, is everybody ready to go here? So all right, folks, you are about to experience a real celebration of diversity and inclusion. Please welcome our Reach performers. Here they are.
The sea will wash against the rock.
The rock's very strong, the rock is strong.
The sea will wash against the rock.
But before too long, the rock is gone.
The wind will blow against the stone.
The stone's very strong, the stone is strong.
The wind will blow against the stone.
But before too long, the stone is gone.
Patience friends, we move closer every day. Patience friends,
The stone will soon break. We are the wave, we are the flow, we are the wind, and soon the rock must go. We are the wave, we are the flow, we are the wind, and soon the rock must go.
you cannot hold back the tide.
The tide must rise, the tide must rise, the tide must rise, the tide will rise.
It's natural as day to night.
Day to night, day to night,
As natural as black and white.
black and white, black and white.
Power will go up through the storm. Patience friends,
It's the truth we always know. We are the wave, we are the flow, we are the wind, and soon the rock must go. We are the force, we are the fire, we are the moon, moving higher and higher than force. We are the fire, we are the moon, moving higher and higher than
dreams you want with all your heart. And I'll do whatever it takes. Follow through with the promise I made. Put it all on the line. What I hope for at last would be mine. If I could reach higher, just for one moment touch the sky. For that one moment in my life, I'm gonna be stronger. Know that I've tried my very best. Put my spirit to the test. If I could reach. Days are meant to be remembered. Those days we rise above the stars. So I'll go the distance this time, seeing more the higher I climb. That the more I believe, oh, the more that this dream will be mine. If I could reach higher, just for one moment touch the sky. From that one moment in my life, I'm gonna be stronger. Know that I've tried my very best. Put my spirit to the test. If I could If I could reach higher, just for one moment touch the sky. From that one moment in my life, I'm gonna be stronger. Know that I've tried my very best. Put my spirit to the test. If I could reach higher, if I could reach, I'd reach, I'd reach, I'd reach, I'd reach, I'd reach so much higher, stronger.
Come on, let's hear it for them. How about the Reach performers, huh? How great was that? Man, that was some kind of inclusive, beautiful performance for sure. So we want to thank everybody for being a part of that. Good to see some familiar faces here too. I've seen some people that I haven't seen for a while. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, we saw you, I think, at Operation Track Shoes a few years ago, right?
Yes, this is Ed Bain. He does his work really good.
Where did I put that $20 bill I promised you? I'm sorry, I'll get that out. Well, thanks, thanks for saying that. And how about the soloists, Colin Owens and Suzanne Starkowitz were fantastic here as well as a part of the Reach group here this afternoon. You know, the Reach director, Anne-Marie Brimacombe, has had many award-winning choirs over the years, but Reach is a very different one. She says that each member brings something special and unique to the groups and to you, and it's not about winning awards, it's about winning hearts. And I think they all won our hearts here today with that performance moments ago. That was something else. So we'll tell you a little bit about REACH. In addition to the performing groups, they also provide early learning music and movement programs for young children of refugees and new immigrants to the Intercultural Association of Victoria and the Victoria Immigrant and Refugee Center Society. So more great work they're doing. And while we're getting ready for the next performance here on the stage, I want to mention the sponsors, because you can't do anything in life without sponsors, and we appreciate them very much. So we want to thank our generous ticket sponsors, Peninsula Co-op, for their support, and we appreciate that very much. Also, the Accent Inns. We're very grateful to Accent Inns, who provided sponsored accommodation for our guest presenter from Calgary, my old friend. He's not old. You're not as old as me, but Alvin Law is here, and it's going to be a treat to hear Alvin and see him. And of course, he's also got the Hertz car rental that they rented for him as well, one of our sponsors. So our thanks to Hertz Car Rental for donating the rental car for Alvin. They said they had never rented a car before to anybody who steers with his feet. And Alvin does. Alvin being born with no arms. That's just one of the many amazing things he can do. But the most amazing thing about him is the person he is. So we're going to talk about. Well, I will give one amazing story of things you can do with your feet. In 1980, Alvin was at my apartment in Saskatoon and actually opened a beer with a Bic lighter with his feet. So, you know, the car thing's impressive, but that was something else. Okay, well, I thought it was a heartwarming story that needed to be shared. I really did. So our term and show sponsors for the event are Norgard Foundation and the Victoria Foundation. It's really only with their support that we were able to put this on, and generous donations from individuals and companies that make the REACH programs possible. So if you'd like to be a REACH donor, we would be happy to take your donation. Now, while I'm talking about that, I will say this, that I do also work with the Golf for Kids charity here in town, which the construction agency puts on every year for the Help Full of Dream Foundation. And over the last 10 or 12 years that I've emceed that event, they have been kind enough to leave me a little mound of the money every now and then to donate to worthwhile causes. So on behalf of Golf for Kids, I'm going to turn over a $1,000 check as a donation from Golf for Kids to the REACH campaign here tonight, or this afternoon. So while we're getting ready for the next performance, here's a short video clip from the virtual We Are One show from last year during the pandemic. This includes a couple of the guest artists and some local REACH members and some others who joined virtually from afar. So enjoy the last year's We Are One show during the pandemic via video.
Sing it, Awu.
I can, you can. We can change the world. I can, you can. We can change the world. I can, you can. We can change the world. I can, you can. We can change the world. Every black man and every white man, we're connected as one.
One people, y'all.
Yeah. So take my hand.
Everybody now.
I'll take your hand.
Come together,
then
y'all.
the dream will come true.
Yeah.
We can all make a change.
Make a change.
One people, one world. Yeah-la-la, 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 yeah-la-la. Ooh-hoo. Yeah. Yeah-la-la, 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 yeah-la-la. That's all we say. I can and you can.
We can change the world.
I can, you can.
We can change the world.
I can, you can.
We can change the world.
I can, you can.
We can change the world.
Yeah-la, yeah-la-la, yeah-la-la, yeah-la-la. Ooh-hoo. Yeah. Yeah-la-la, 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 yeah.
This song goes out to every single member of the human race. Each action you take has an impact on the rest of humanity. So make your life about something positive and do some good to make a change. The world needs you.
All right, everybody enjoying the show so far? Yeah. Let's say hi to everybody up there. I guess we forgot we got a full house here tonight, so this is incredible to see how many people we've got on hand. So nice to have the church. This is the fullest I've seen the church in a long time here. In all my days of coming to this church. This is great to see a nice crowd. All right, our next performers are Eric Harper and Miguelito Valdes. Now, we all know that Victoria is one of the nicest places in the world to live. Not that inexpensive, but beautiful to live in just the same. So it attracts, of course, some of the world's greatest talent, and Eric and Miguelito are certainly great examples of outstanding talent. You're going to agree here once they start performing in a couple of minutes. Eric is an Emmy Award-winning composer and virtuoso guitarist who has lived and studied in the U.S. and in Portugal. And Miguelito is considered one of the most highly regarded trumpet players of his generation from Cuba. And both have traveled the world to perform with other great musicians, and they both call Victoria home now. We are lucky for that, to be able to have these great musicians living here. They're going to be introducing their songs, and you are in for a very, very big treat. So please welcome Eric Harper and Miguelito Valdes.
Do you like yours with cream and sugar? 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 As I could be your cream and sugar. As I could be, oh, I could be the sweetness in your life. Do you like yours with cream and sugar? 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 As I could be your cream and sugar. As I could be, oh, I could be the sweetness in your life. Miguelito! As I could be your cream and as I could be, oh, I could be the sweetness in your life. I could be your cream and sugar. 'Cause I could be, oh, I could be the sweetness in your life. The sweetness in your life. The sweetness in your life. Oh. Ole! Now, obviously, when you write a song on the spot, it's not like it's going to be deep. And, you know, I wanted to come up with something else for the second verse, but nothing really came And it was like, do you like yours with peanut butter and jelly? And then you want to be with the times. Do you want yours with almond milk and stevia? And that's just gross. I mean, let's be honest. Those of you who are taking stevia, it's got that aftertaste. You're telling yourself you like it. It's really gross. And you know, as an artist, we're always trying to give back to the world and not take away from the world, because there's just so many things that are taking things away from us, right? And when I was putting together my album, I had a real internal struggle as to whether or not to put that song on my album. And it became my most popular tune. So much for deep. There's a growing storm around me. The howling of the wind screams in my ears. The flood of bitter reasons was not enough to bring back my family. And it all rains down on me like a million tears from the sea. I don't know where I was on that day, 'cause it was raining down on me. I see my own family, 6 billion, maybe more, drowning in the sea, and all the dreams float past me like the words of love that all went unsaid, and it all rains down on me as the ocean empties the sea. I don't know where you were on that day. I just recall you told me one thing. You wanna cry, you wanna scream. Baby, that's alright with me. You wanna cry, you wanna scream. Baby, that's alright with me. That's all right with me. Baby, that's all right with me. And it all rains down on me as the ocean empties the sea. I don't know where you were on that day. I just recall you told me one thing. You wanna cry, you wanna scream. Baby, that's all right with me. You wanna cry, you wanna scream. Baby, that's all right with me. Everybody. You more time. You wanna cry, you wanna scream, baby, that's alright with me. Oh, baby, that's alright with me. Baby, that's alright by me. Miguelito Valdes. I lived in Portugal in the 90s. Anybody here been to Portugal? Yeah, anybody here fluent in Portuguese? It's a very useful language in Victoria, I find. Yeah, especially speaking to my Cuban friend. He really understands what I'm saying. And when he speaks in Spanish, I have no idea what he's saying. So my friend Marjan contacted me, and she said, we're doing an outreach to the Gypsy, to the Romani community, and we're wondering if you could write a song about us, about this situation. And I said, well, what is the situation? And she said, well, we're creating friendships and bonds with the Gypsy Romani community. And I said, that's remarkable. You see, when I lived in Portugal in the 90s, there was no relationship between the Portuguese and the Romani people. In Spain, you saw some interaction, and in fact, the Gypsy community in Spain weren't allowed to vote until the 1950s, and that's in Spain. In Portugal, I just never saw a relationship. It was like, they were over there, and it was pretty much an outcast situation. So I said, I'd love to. And I said, do you have any footage of what you're doing? She's like, yeah, I have hundreds of pictures. I said, great, send it my way. So I wrote the song. I made a little montage with the pictures, and I sang in Portuguese. So the song in Portuguese is Amigo. It's funny because when I memorize lyrics, it's always in a musical fashion. When I speak them, I forget. So, translation, O friend, in the garden of thy heart, plant not but the rose of love. So that's the song in Portuguese. Jardim de teu coração, oh amigo, no jardim de teu coração, oh amigo, no jardim de teu coração. Jardim de teu coração, nada plantes, salva rosa do amor, nada plantes, salva rosa do amor, nada plantes, salva rosa do amor. Jardim de teu coração, oh, amigo, no jardim de teu coração, nada plantes, salva rosa do amor, nada plantes, salva rosa do amor. Salva rosa do amor. rosa do amor. Nada antes, salve a rosa do amor. Nada antes, salve a rosa do amor. Thank you so much. Well, folks, you know, it's really an honor and a delight and a pleasure for Miguelito and I to perform for you guys, because it's such a peculiar thing, right? I mean, I'm from the States, he's from Cuba, and politically our countries don't get along, and yet here we are, because really, I mean, humanity is one.
Also, we say he likes coffee, I like beer, so.
Well, I thought it was rum. No, not rum? Rum? Yeah, rum as well. Nice, nice. And I mean, I'm so grateful to Peter and Marie. Thank you for having us here and for everything that you're doing. And everything you're doing reminds me of that wonderful quote, which is that diversity in the human family should be the cause of love and harmony. As it is in music, where many different notes blend together in the making of a perfect chord. And so I'll leave you with that thought. We've got one more song. Thank you for bearing with me and my silliness. And we were originally going to change the name of the band to Two Bald Guys, but that didn't fly because then, well, because it didn't. And that's how I talk about anything. So you guys have been wonderful. I just want to ask Miguelito's forgiveness for my horrible accent.
That's all right. Getting used to it. It's a few years now.
A few years now.
Oh, seriously. Thank you for having us over here. This is great, and we are in town, so if any chance you need us again, we'll be there for you. So, beautiful.
I think what he means is if you want a hug.
Bring it in.
We'll wear a mask, so. Vámonos.
Got it.
Sí. Pienso que en un sueño parecido no volverá más. Y me empataba las manos la cara de eso. Y de improviso el viento rápido me llevó. Y de hecho volar en el cielo infinito. Volaré, oh, cantaré, oh, nel blu dipinto di blu, felice di stare lassù. Y volando, volando feliz, yo me encuentro más alto que el sol. Y mientras que el mundo se aleja debajo de mí, una música tocada solo para mí. Volaré, oh, cantaré, oh, nel blu dipinto di blu, felice di stare lassù. Penso che un sogno parecido non volverá más. Y me levantaba la mano en la cara de azul. Y de improviso el viento rápido me llevó. Pienso volar en el cielo infinito. Volaré, oh, cantaré, oh, nel blu dipinto di blu, felice di stare lassù.
that? Fantastic, wasn't it? Eric Harper, Miguelito Valdes. It's been a spectacular afternoon, and you're really going to enjoy the next award-winning group here. This is the Shawnee-Punjab Dance Performing Arts and Heritage School, and they were founded back in '93 here in Victoria. And this school teaches cultural songs and dances from various regions of India, especially from Punjab. And today they are going to perform a dance in the Bhangra style. So please put your hands together. Here they come, the Shawnee Punjab dancers. How about that? The Shawnee-Punjab dancers, everybody. Another nice hand for them again here. Terrific. Wow. You got to be in some kind of condition to do that. I mean, I'm winded. There's 3 steps to get on the stage here, and I'm winded already. Just give me a second to get my breath. I don't think I'd do well with the dance troupe there, but that was outstanding. Thank you to the Shawnee-Punjab dancers being a part of our Day of Diversity here today as we commemorate Human Solidarity Day and the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. Well, our next performer I have known for over 40 years. He is a terrific friend. I talked a little bit about him earlier here. Alvin was born without arms, but that's beside the point. This guy is a terrific human being. And we met in about 1980 when Alvin was working on a radio station in Regina, the sister station to the one that I was at the same time. We were across the hall, and I was at the country AM station, and Alvin was at the FM rock station across the hall. So we had the smaller 45s to deal with on the turntables on the country station, and of course they had the big LPs, the vinyl LPs on the FM station. And I remember the morning I went over to talk to Alvin. He was just making a grand stretch with his leg to the 3rd shelf to pull out yet another album to get on the turntable. And he said to me, he said, when I own a station, everything's going to be on the ground floor. And I always remember that. He speaks all over the world. He's a motivational speaker. He is terrific. He spent some time last night at the sound check with a friend of mine who's in a wheelchair, who's having some struggles, and I could tell by the end of the night that he had this young guy really looking at life a lot more positively. So I'm so appreciative of him for that, for last night, and I'm so appreciative of him as a friend. He was just recently in Taiwan with Katy Perry, performing with a number of people with disabilities, and that was a highlight of his life, he was telling me, and I'll bet it was a highlight of Katy Perry's as well, and it should have been, for heaven's sakes, because he's that incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Alvin Law.
It's actually Tokyo, Ed. Not Taiwan. Nothing matters unless you're Taiwanese. I'm going to tell you something, really. I am having a reflective day, honest. Didn't have to be here to have a reflective day. I usually have one of those every day. Wake up and thank you for me waking up. But today, particularly reflective, and they give me a double whammy as a speaker. Now, this is a little bit different than what we've experienced so far. I'm not going to perform per se, but I am going to speak for a little bit, not my typical motivational speech, because that's not why I'm here. First of all, I am here because Peter and Anne Marie asked me. If you've ever been asked anything by Peter and Anne Marie, you'd know it's futile to say no. So here I am, all the way from Calgary. And yes, thank you to Hertz for renting me a car. I steer with my right foot on the wheel and my left foot on the gas. So it's not a special car, although we did take a little convincing for them to understand that I didn't need the extra insurance. Trust me. But I have to tell you, it's getting very interesting for me when I think about the way that people see me, and it's always been interesting to me. On the way from the airport, it was late. My flight was 2 hours late getting here. And in fact, that alone was incredible because Peter and Anne Marie was saying they meet me at the airport. No, I've got the car. I can pick up the car. Well, apparently, Hertz was closed by the time I arrived, so they were there waiting for the keys. That's how these people really are. So I just drive like this, and on the way I was, geez, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten. It's been a long day. Oh, the Golden Arches. That was not a commercial. But can you imagine when you pull up at the drive-through window and you're driving with your foot on the wheel, and they ask you for payment, and of course you give them, I did my debit card, and you give them the debit card, and you get that look. Do you know what's funnier, though? Is the look behind you. The car behind you sees a foot go out the window, and then both feet to grab the drink, because that's the tricky part. I've often wondered what they say when they go home. Honey, I was just at McDonald's, and they're serving something strange, because I saw... Anyway, I do have a sense of humor. You have to have a sense of humor nowadays, I find. But I will also tell you that as a speaker and as a performer, I have been more than blessed in my life. And indeed, Tokyo, if you imagine it, 2 weeks ago, literally 2 weeks ago, the last time I was on a stage and I was being interviewed by the MC there, the crowd had 8,000 people in it. And yes, indeed, I did meet Katy Perry, and yes, she's kind of cute. Sorry, I'm just thinking about, she's really cute. Anyway, I'm happily married. Anyway, the reality was, seriously, all kidding aside, can you imagine? I grew up in a little town called Yorkton, Saskatchewan, okay? And when I was a little boy, I had dreams. They were unreasonable dreams. In fact, I remember going into my guidance counselor's office in my senior year of high school. Do you remember that? Do you have one of those? Remember that plan you made, that little meeting you had with your career guidance counselor to chart the entire course of the rest of your life? Remember that? And I remember going in there and I had a plan. I wanted to make my dream come true. And Mr. Sherwin said, "So, Alvin, what are you going to do?" I said, "I want to be a global rock star." That's what I said. Now, you can imagine that might have sounded goofy to many people. But Mr. Sherwin believed me because he knew that I dreamed big and I did amazing things with my feet. I'm going to show you a video right away that'll kind of confirm that, but don't get ahead of me, okay? What happened next in the meeting was very interesting. They said, "Alvin, I think you need to think smaller, more reasonable, logical, something that you could do that wouldn't involve being a global rock star." You know what I said? "How about dentistry?" Can you imagine? Open wider! I don't think so. So Mr. Sherwin said, "That was kind of silly. Are you trying to be funny?" And I went, "Yes, I'm trying to be funny." And Mr. Sherwin deadpan looked at me and said, "Mr. Law, if anybody understands this, you should. Life isn't funny." You know what's interesting about a day like today when we celebrate not only Human Solidarity Day and the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, we're not ignoring the negative reality. We're not ignoring the plight of so many people on our planet. People with disabilities, people that are being downtrodden by race, by prejudice, the war in Ukraine. There's so much going on in our planet that if we focus on all we see in the negativity, then I believe that's what we get. And being in a church today is added beauty for me, honest, because this is a place of faith, isn't it? Place of belief. When I walked in here last night for the dress rehearsal, I got this emotional shot that caused every little tingle in the back of my neck. That is an image, pipe organ pipes. Grew up watching that in Yorkton, Saskatchewan at a place called St. Andrew's United Church. We would come to church every Sunday and we would be out there with you and I would sing, and then I joined the choir. And then one day I decided I wanted to try something that didn't make any sense at all. It wasn't a church, it was actually at a friend's house. Mom and Dad loved to play cards, and they loved the game of bridge. I don't know if you play bridge. That was always too complicated for me. But I remember being a single child because my parents were older. I won't go into the details of that. But going into the basement of a friend's home where Mom and Dad were busy upstairs and being all by myself and spotting a piano. And I don't know what made me do this, but I felt like I should try it. That's how my brain works. A lot of people see me, and I'll acknowledge this. They go, "Oh, you're so amazing." Thank you. I'm really just Alvin. If you think about it, what I'm seeing through my eyes is not amazing, and these are not feet. These are hands. So my gut said, oops. Chubby toes. That happens. Let's start again. Don't clap. Don't clap. I know you want to. It's not very good, but I know you want to clap. Just don't clap, because that's not what happened in the moment. In the moment, in the basement, in the house that Mom and Dad are playing cards upstairs, nobody was there to applaud. But I heard rampant footsteps racing down to the basement, and it was my mom. By the way, I might mention at this point in time, at that age, I was 10, my mom was 65. I was raised in a foster home after I was abandoned at 5 days of old by my birth family because being born without arms was too much for them. Fine. The reality is my mom had a circle of friends because she was 65. And she came down and she said, "Was that you?" I gave the standard 10-year-old answer, "Do you see anybody else down here?" And then she made me play it again. And then she started to cry. And then she took me on the Yorkton, Saskatchewan elderly women's tea party circuit. And it's nice being here and everything, but those gigs, man, those were fun. Grandmas, there's grandmas in the house, right? You know who you are. Those grandmas were the most patronizing people on the planet. And I loved every minute of it, huh? Oh, they'd chopsticks. They'd cry. They'd give me milk and cookies. They'd give me grandma hugs and kisses, the kind that leave the lipstick stain for like a week. I still wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat and the smell of Chanel No. 5. It wasn't the perfume, it was the amount they put on them. Do you remember that? I went into a lady's kitchen one day, and instead of milk and cookies, she said, "Show me your foot." She didn't seem like a nice person, but I digress. So I showed her my foot, which, again, I say, these are my hands. And she goes, "Alvin, I am a piano teacher, and your mother has asked me to teach you piano. And I have to tell you, I look at your feet, and I just don't see the reason. Why would I bother? You'll never play music." It was just the way it was, Alvin. You didn't get blessed the way that your mother seems to think you are. Your mother is a wonderful woman. She believes you can do anything. She believes that you can make your dreams come true. I am here as your voice of reality. So you can imagine, here we are today celebrating something that is the voice of two realities. The reality that things should be better, but the reality is we've come so far, haven't we? We've come so far. We've come light years since the time that I grew up in the 60s. So we need to keep on moving forward, because just when you don't believe you can, please roll the video, something changes. So that was shot in 2016. It goes on, obviously. I told them not to play the whole thing because I'm not here. It's not about me. It's my little chunk right now, and I'm not playing, I'm speaking, as you can see. That video was shot in 2016 in England by Channel 4 London to promote the 2016 Rio Paralympics. It won a gold medal at Cannes in the category of commercial change. It was basically, they had some sort of a plaque that said on it, to commemorate global change of attitude towards people with disability by showing what's possible, not the impossible. And what's fascinating, and why I wanted to play that for you, is I was in my house in Calgary, and I got a text message from a pal in England, because I work in England all the time. And he goes, "Hey man, remember that bit you do about being globally famous rock star? I was driving to a movie theater, and did you know, man, right down in Piccadilly Circus, you're on a 60-foot billboard, the picture in your program, behind a set of drums. Your feet were huge. Hey man, you're famous in England. You might be famous all over the world." Now again, this is not about me, but can you imagine that? That project led to an invitation to play at the opening ceremonies of the 2020 Paralympics in Tokyo. And to add credibility to the event, Katy Perry was basically contracted to be the headliner. But guess what happened in 2020? The same thing happened in 2020 happened to Reach, didn't it? That's another example. When we hear the words, "That's not fair," my answer is, end your point. Because life isn't fair, is it, all the time? But that, again, is the trouble. When we focus on that, we get that. But when we focus on the other, in fact, Reach is almost the perfect title. We reach for better. We reach for inclusion. We reach for diversity. But more than anything, we reach for this idea that should not be all that hard to agree with. We are a global village. We are a planet of children of planet Earth, aren't we? Everywhere we go. You know, the first time I spoke, and I'm almost done, the first time I spoke to a group of people was in 1981, the International Year of Disabled Persons. And all I wanted to do was make my mark on change. And I remember getting up in front of these 5-year-olds and About 5 minutes into my program, every one of the 5-year-olds in the front row pulled their arms inside their shirts, looked up at the stage, and went, "What are you doing that for?" It was the weirdest looking thing I'd ever seen. And I thought, it's just Saskatchewan. They don't get out much, you know. And then I traveled all over the planet, as Ed said. A few years ago, I'm in Uganda, and I'm speaking there. And in the front row, 5-year-olds pulled their arms inside their shirts, and they did the same exact thing. And I thought, I was right. I like being right. I'm a man. They're in the front row, these beautiful black children with the best smiles ever, and they're proving my point. They're all beautiful. All the children are beautiful. All the people are beautiful. But what we have to understand is COVID tested us. It made us try to understand, how can we make this work? And I want to show you one more video, and then I'll wrap this up. But this video was a project that was done globally with none of us in the same room together, just as the other video we saw of the REACH program. But I want you to watch this video and listen to the words and check out the performance, and then I'll wrap this up. Please roll the tape. That screenshot says, "The True Colors Festival, One World, One Family." Did you notice the saying here today? There is no accident. I want to thank the Nippon Foundation. That is a commercial, because it cost a lot of money to put on that concert in Tokyo, and they underwrote the whole thing. They flew Darlene and I from Canada, from all these different countries. Today costs money too. I want to encourage you. I know you already paid for tickets, but I want to encourage you to support REACH for all its objectives. It's not cheap. I'm on the board of directors. I know. All you can do to help would be appreciated, because we need to think big. Can we do that? I hope you do. And thank you. By the way, you know the lady in the kitchen, you were kind of shocked when you said I had short toes and she wasn't going to teach. What a terrible human being. No. That's very common for people to see people like us the wrong way. You're not the ones that are thinking that way, otherwise you wouldn't be here today. We need to change the message, we need to change the thinking, and we need to change the picture. Or as my wife would say, that lady was right, Alvin. I know you. I'm married to you. You have very short toes. But you know what? That lady back in 1971, she had a small mind. Don't clap again, please, because this isn't about me. This is about faith and belief and the spirit world joining in one place together to celebrate the miracle of being human. Namaste. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. God bless. Thank you.
Alvin Law, such a great guy, such a great message. What an inspiring performance that was, Alvin. Thank you very, very much. All right, we are moving along here on the program, and I think that piano performance would be particularly interesting to Ashley Way, who was here as a great pianist. We're going to bring her up with Eryn Sharpe here very, very shortly. You can sit back and relax and take a deep breath and listen to something that is truly mellow and truly beautiful. If you know the song Rainbow by Casey Musgraves, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And performing that is this such an accomplished duo of Eryn Sharpe and Ashley Way. Eryn is a local singer and singing teacher who, with her own trio, loves and performs many different styles of music. And it's hard to imagine having a better accompanist on piano to capture the true essence of many different music styles than the fabulous Ashley Way, who has actually been kind enough to play the background music for Weather on CHEK for me one time as well. And it was fantastic. Not the weather, but your playing. One of the Victoria's most versatile piano players is Ashley Way. Please welcome Ashley and Eryn Sharpe now to perform Rainbow.
Yeah. So, this song is called Rainbow. It's by Casey Musgraves. And before we get started, I would like to say a big thank you to Peter and Anne-Marie for inviting Ashley and I to play. Thank you. And also a big thank you to Ashley. It's always an honor to have her accompanying me. Thank you, Ashley.
When it rains, it pours, but you didn't even notice. It ain't raining anymore. It's hard to breathe when all you know is the struggle of staying above the rising water line. Well, the sky is finally open. The rain and wind stop blowing, but you're stuck out in the same old storm again. Hold tight to your umbrella, darling, I'm just trying to tell ya that there's always been a rainbow hanging over your head. If you could see what I see, you'd be blinded by the colors, yellow, red, orange, and green, and at least a million others. Tie up the boat, take off your coat, and take a look around. 'Cause the sky is finally open, the rain and wind stop blowing, but you're stuck out in the same old storm again. Hold tight to your umbrella, and darling, I'm just trying to tell ya that there's always been a rainbow hanging over your head. Oh, tie up the boat, take off your coat, and take a look around. Everything is alright now, 'cause the sky is finally open. The rain and wind stop blowing, but you're stuck out in the same old storm again. Let go of your umbrella, darling, I'm just trying to tell ya that there's always been a rainbow hanging over your head. Yeah, there's always been a rainbow hanging over your head. Ooh, it'll all be alright.
Thank you very much.
Eryn, Sharpe, and Ashley Way, everybody. Wasn't that beautiful? Just fantastic. Thank you so much for that. All right, we're going to reset the stage. The Reach performers are coming out here again as we get set to wrap it up. But also, want to take a second to thank all of the performers, the Reach volunteers, and the technical crew back there who have done a terrific job here today. Takes a lot of people to put on something like this that are in the background, and we appreciate the technical crew particularly, and the staff here at First Metropolitan United Church have been just terrific to work for as well, so we appreciate them. And our show producers, Reach directors Anne-Marie and Peter Brimacombe, who have just worked tirelessly on this event here for months and months to make this event happen this afternoon, so we appreciate them. Let's have a nice hand for them as well. And all right, and let's really ramp it up for the audience. The audience was terrific today as well. You guys were great. Give yourself a wonderful hand for helping us celebrate human solidarity. So today, December 3rd, the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. What an important event this has been, and it's a special day to recognize no matter what disability we may have or encounter, we will always have something special to share and to learn from each other. So that's the message today. And as we enjoy that message or think about that message, we are delighted to be back here with the Reach group. They're all set to go today, and I think Eryn Sharpe is going to be singing along with them as well. So let's welcome Eryn and the Reach group right now.
Dream I'm dreaming, but there's a voice inside my head saying you'll never reach it. Every move I'm making, every step I take feels lost with no direction. My faith is shaking, but I gotta keep trying, gotta keep my head held high. There's always gonna be another mountain, I'm always gonna wanna make it move, always gonna be an uphill battle, sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there, ain't about what's waiting on the other side.
Thank you, Eryn. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for that. And the Reach Group, we're going to hear more from you here in a couple of minutes. Our last couple of songs are coming up. But just before we get to that, I think Anne-Marie and Peter want to say a few words here before we bring up those last couple of songs. So we'll turn it over to Anne-Marie and Peter, your show producers from Reach.
Wow. Ed has done such a great job today and also taken time to thank so many people. So we'd just like to thank Ed for doing such a great job. Ed.
Yeah. Thank you, thank you. This show is about heart, and you surely pulled it together today beautifully.
And Alvin mentioned about supporting Reach. If you are interested, we do have a donations page on our website. We will also have some boxes at the exits if you'd like to support through a donation to Reach. But just you being here today and your energy has given us so much support. Bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Today we want to honor and remember 4 of our Reach members who we've lost since our last show in 2019. There's Fari, Charles, Gail, and Jason. And Reach is really about family. You know, Charles was homeless, and he lived at our place for a little while. And while he was there, he sang with us. We do a program where we, one lunchtime a week, we have a sing-along. And he came and he sang with us every time, and he always told us how much he loved us and that we were his family. And then Charles went into hospital and passed away. And I had a call from the hospital saying that he wanted us to be notified because he named me as his next of kin and Reach as his family. Yeah. That's why we do it, right? Definitely.
And we really miss Jason, Gail, Fari. They are in our videos, they are in our hearts. I think we still feel they're with us. And also, we'd like to dedicate our next song to them. It's Leonard Cohen's Alleluia, but with our own words. And
you're going back to the sound booth, right?
I am, but let me just say, Merle, we'd like to also dedicate this to Merle, one of our dear members who just had surgery for breast cancer, and she's in our thoughts and prayers.
And Laura, our choreographer, board member, and she couldn't be here today because she had a family crisis and had to fly out as well. So we dedicate this one to all of them, and we would love to invite you to join us in the chorus of Hallelujah. Peter has written the words for the verses, which reflect what we want to say today. And our Reach soloists are Mitchell Thatcher, Laura Griffin, and Christopher Ainsworth. Thank you so much.
This morning I unshut my eyes and gazed upon an azure sky. Then deep within I fell down to my knees. I know that I've been here before, broken up, so down and sore, but with the chance to start again, oh please. Hallelujah.
searching for the strength to go. Like twins from birth, we have no need to hide.
We know you've heard this tune before in different words from every shore. Now from our hearts we bring our own words to ya. We hope the man who lit the fire, singing with that midnight choir, we thank him for the gift of hallelujah.
Maybe there's a God above, but deep within His name is love, and really that is what it's all about. Our spirits say we're made to dance, and life's too short to lose the chance. Together, let us dance and sing and shout. Hallelujah.
So beautiful. Thank you for joining us in singing, and we hope you're going to sing. This is our last number. Our guest performers, if you want to come and join us, please do. And everybody, this is your chance. Sing and dance if you like. Higher and higher.
When my desire, I'll be at your
Yeah! What a wonderful and inspiring day. Thank you to everybody for coming. Thank you to our wonderful Reach performers and all of the performers on stage here today on the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. God bless you all. Have a great afternoon. Drive carefully.